Welcome to PrepsNet Coach Speak with Gardendale Rockets head football coach Chad Eads. Powered by Sweet Caroline's Ice Cream Shop on Fieldstown Road in Gardendale. And now your host, Aubrey Johnson.
Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you very much. Good to have you guys back.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you had a bye week last week, but we want to talk about 2 weeks ago because you beat the brakes off of Woodlawn 40-14. Tell us about the game.
Well, it was a real good game. I thought our kids had prepared during the week, and we felt confident going into the game, and then thought performed well offensively. I was real proud of our defense running around. I didn't see a lot of, as the game did get a little out of hand, I didn't see our kids drop off intensity.
Nice.
To where sometimes those games turn into sloppy games a little bit, and I was real pleased with that. And especially going into a bye week like last week, I was afraid they would lose a little bit of intensity, but I was really excited about our performance.
Well, good. Well, 40 points. You had, I'm sure, several players do very well for you on offense. Name a few for us.
Well, Carter Jenkins, he reached 100 receptions on his career and had a real good game that night.
Awesome.
I thought our Deacon Dyer played well in that game offensively. Had some big runs by Uriah Casey.
Right.
He had some that were he had a couple of long runs, but some of his most impressive runs were 10-yard gains. Where he made some really some cuts on things that maybe he's one of a few who could make that cut. So I'm excited to have him. And then defensively, I thought our defensive line played well.
Right.
Marcus Hines and James Coffey and Keon Henson, I thought really played well on the defensive line.
Good. You mentioned defense. Anybody else that played well, because they only gave up 14 points?
Well, our two linebackers, I keep having to talk about them every week,
know.
but Rowan Warmack and Adam Yezel are continuing to. I'm not sure where they're ranked now. They've been ranked for so long. I've kind of lost track of it. But both of those kids are great leaders, and they, and I think the rest of our defense is kind of feeding off of them and playing with the same intensity.
Right. Okay. Any injuries this week?
No, we had somebody have their wisdom teeth taken out, but that didn't happen in the game.
That didn't happen in the game, did it? We don't count that.
We're good. All the injuries are good. We've got a few little bumps and bruises and getting braces and those things, but everybody will be ready to go Friday night.
Well, good. Well, one more game, and we're going to talk about it right after this message.
PrepsNet Coach Speak with Gardendale Rockets head football coach Chad Eads is proudly brought to you by Sweet Caroline's Ice Cream Shop on Fieldstone Road in Gardendale. The only thing sweeter than a win in Driver Stadium is an ice cream treat or dirty soda from Sweet Caroline's. Go Rockets!
And we're back. Before we talk about Spain Park, your last regular season game, let's talk a little bit about the seniors that are coming up on their last regular season game, maybe going into the playoffs, we don't know, but let's give them some of their due. What do you say to them?
Well, first of all, it's the biggest senior class we've had since I've been here. There's 24 of them.
Wow.
They've all grown up for the most part. They've all grown up here together, and they've played all the way up through Little League and baseball and football, and their dads have coached all of them. So they've spent a lot of time together. They've known each other longer than I've known them, and of course these guys were 7th grade, 6th or 7th grade when I came here. And,
sure.
And I remember a lot of them from little kids camps, and now they're seniors, and but also a very tight-knit group. They enjoy being together. They enjoy picking on each other, and then they enjoy all the parts of football. So that's been a lot of fun having a group that enjoys being together, enjoy being on the field, and then they're also very, very well behaved in the school and represent our program and community. And they're for the most part they're all involved in another sport or in some other activity at the school, so they're very well balanced young men, and I see them around town, and they all come from great families. We got senior night coming up this week, and
good.
And the number of families that are signed up to be here with them is really neat to see. A lot of the mom and dad and little brothers and little sisters and grandparents and aunts and uncles. So hopefully we can get all the names called that night. But just a great group
That's a big deal.
to coach, especially getting far into a coaching career, and to have a group of young men like this has been really refreshing.
That's awesome. Kudos to you guys. So Spain Park, last regular season game, they have won every game that they have played this season. What do you expect to see from them?
Well, same thing. I know Coach Vakakis really well, and the different places he's been. This will be, you know, we've coached against each other several times at different places, and have a lot of respect for him and the way he coaches and what he gets out of young men. And they're a talented team. I know a very talented quarterback and some receivers, and
Right.
You know, they've had some big wins this year over Hoover, and they've won their region. And,
Yes, sir.
I think they're in a region very similar to ours. You got some really good teams, and you got a few that are struggling along the way, but they've taken care of their business all year. And you know, and that always says a lot for a high school team when they can, you know, to get through a year to a point in the season that you're undefeated.
Yes.
Is you know, with all the ups and downs of a season and how an injury can affect, and to be able to keep a team focused like that is really impressive by him.
Right. So I don't know if you know this, but you two teams have not met since 2009. But you know of Coach Vakakis. You've played against him before. What style of play does he have?
Well, they're very physical on defense. You know, that's one thing that stands out is how they run to the ball. You know, they're a little bit multiple on defense as far as their fronts and who's in and out of the game. But you know, the size on the defensive line, especially the interior guys, stands out a good bit. I know on offense they're very similar to us of style of play and what they try to do. You know, so they try to be physical in the run game, and then also let that quarterback throw the ball around a little bit.
Right. Well, Coach, that's our show. We appreciate your time, and we certainly appreciate yours. Join us again next week for another edition of Coach Speak.